Welcome, collectors of all ages. This is Mike with Jayhawker Vintage Cards, and today I put together a video montage of my great-grandfather's favorite Major League Baseball player. Now, it took me a while to nail down who that player was. I had to do some detective work and put a couple pieces of the puzzle together, but I am 100% confident that I have that player. So I'll tell you the story behind that, because it's kind of fun, kind of interesting, after the video. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Hope you enjoy.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game, sung by Edward Meeker, Edison Record. J.T. Casey was baseball mad, had the fever and had it bad, just to root for the hometown crew every stew. Casey Blue. On a Saturday, her young beau called to see if she'd like to go to see a show, but Miss Kate said no. I'll tell you what you can do. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. J.T. Casey saw all the games, knew the players by their first names, told the umpire he was wrong all along, good and strong. When the score was just 2-2, J.T. Casey knew what to do. Just to cheer up the boys he knew, he made the gang sing this song. Take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Well, hey, I hope everybody enjoyed that little video montage that I put together about Zack Wheat. And I want to mention a few other things about Zack Wheat. Yeah, he came up in 1909. So basically, the first decade of his Major League career coincided with the last decade of the dead ball. Obviously, the live ball came on right after that. Now, for that 10 years, he led the National League in total bases. Now, if you look at his stats in Baseball Reference, you're not going to see anything that looks too impressive. But nobody really in the National League had a lot of impressive stats. He didn't hit a lot of home runs. He won a batting title with hitting 0 home runs. First player to ever do that. And the next one was, I think, Rod Carew in the 70s. But he was a line drive hitter. Unfortunately, in the dead ball era, a lot of those line drives just kind of went right to the outfielder. Didn't go very far. Now, unlike almost everybody in the dead ball era, he didn't choke up. He actually put his hands down at the knob, which was very rare, very unique for the dead ball era. Now, he said he did that because he didn't like just taking half-ass swings. He liked to try to rip the ball. So it actually hurt him to hit that way in the dead ball era, but he was very impressive. Again, I said he had the most total bases in the National League for that last 10 years of the dead ball era. But when the live ball era came, I mean, he was already pushing 30 or into his 30s, right? And those line drives now were line shots, hits, doubles, triples. He had some occasional home run power. So if you look at his stats, you will see a player who looks like he just got a lot better in the early stages of the live ball era. And actually, that's true. A lot of guys whose careers straddled the dead ball to the live ball, the only really difference is their value was the same, but just because of the live ball, they looked like they were that much better. Even though he was really good in the dead ball era, he was even that much better in the live ball because the way he hit those line drives, ripping the ball and just ripping, it just helped him. Tris Speaker was another guy who was helped tremendously in the live ball era. The other thing I wanted to say is the cards that you've seen in that video, I don't own any of those. Not on one of them. Well, I do own one. It's just not the one that you see. So I actually own the 1911 T205 gold border of Zack Wheat. I love that card. I love that set. This is my favorite Zack Wheat card that's out there. And so this is the one that I own. And one of the reasons I got this was I always suspected that he might be one of the players that would have been my great-grandpa's favorite player. The other one I always thought about was Arkansas, because Arkansas is from Arkansas. And I'll kind of get to that in a second. The other thing I wanted to say is the music that you hear, that was the first recording of Take Me Out to the Ballgame in 1908 on Edison Records by Eddie Meeker. So it's kind of cool to listen to that. If you can go online, you can see the story behind that and see the lyrics. I really had never heard the story behind that. It's pretty interesting. Now, the seeds to all this began when I was a baby. I was born in 1971. My parents took me to Arkansas in the spring of 1972 for kind of a family reunion. My great-grandpa, who I was named after, was dying of cancer. Very weak, very frail. But because I was named after him, he wanted to hold me. Now, again, he was bedridden, very weak, scared my mom to death to have him hold me. She didn't really want to do it, but they got a pillow on his lap, propped him up, and he was able to hold me, holding the pillow. And from what everybody always used to tell me when I was growing up was that just made his last part of his life happy. He'd been miserable, sad, depressed, but his eyes just lit up, and that's basically all he talked about the rest of his life. And unfortunately, that was only a couple months later he passed away. Now, my great-grandpa was born in Izard County, Arkansas in 1888, and he died in the summer of 1972. So he lived a long, long life. But he lived his entire life in that county. He never moved away from that little tiny county in the Ozark Mountains. Beautiful area if you've ever been down there. So that was one piece of the puzzle. Now, my mom had mentioned to me not long before she passed away 10 years ago that my great-grandpa's favorite player, or favorite team, I should say, was the Dodgers. Now, I never could understand that. And I've been thinking about it for years, why somebody from the little Ozarks would be a Dodgers fan. I would have assumed it was the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, there's no other team further west back in those days than the Cardinals. So I always kind of was puzzled by that, but I didn't really think a lot about it until I went on vacation with my wife a couple of years ago. We drove through Missouri, and we stopped at a little town called Hamilton, Missouri, which is the birthplace of J.C. Penney, of J.C. Penney fame. Took a shot of the mural, and here's that picture right here. That picture had, or that mural, I should say, has Zack Wheat. I didn't realize that Zack Wheat was also born in Hamilton, Missouri, and basically lived his entire life in Missouri. So at one point I thought maybe Arky Vaughn was the player that my great-grandpa would have liked, and maybe he was one of them because he was from Arkansas. But Arky Vaughn only played for the Dodgers for a few seasons. He was mainly a Pittsburgh Pirate. But seeing that mural really started making me think, could Zack have Wheat been his favorite player? And I started putting some pieces together, and here's some interesting things that I found out. I mentioned my great-grandpa was born in 1888 and died in 1972. By coincidence, Zack Wheat was born in 1888, and he also died in 1972. Now, think about who your favorite player was as a kid or maybe as a young adult. It's probably somebody similar to your age or just a few years older, right? It makes all the sense in the world for Zack Wheat to have been my great-grandpa's favorite player. He played for the Dodgers. That was my great-grandpa's favorite team. So about a year ago, I reached out to one of my mom's cousins who lived in Arkansas the whole time. And I asked, hey, by chance, do you know anything about your grandpa's favorite team, favorite player? She only knew that his favorite team was the Dodgers. And the player that he would talk about, she had no idea. She could not remember what the name was. Only that he was from Missouri. So if you put those pieces together, there's no doubt in my mind, that Zack Wheat was my great-grandpa's favorite player. So it was from the heart that I put this quick little montage. I meant to do it for Zack Wheat's birthday coming up, but I missed it. by a few days. And somebody else actually, I think, I can't remember if it was Aaron with Value Vintage, or maybe it was Sammy Thunder, but I think it was Aaron with Value Vintage who puts up the thing with the birthdays. And I was like, dang it, I missed that. And so I had started thinking about doing this. I just didn't get it all together until then. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun one for me to put together. And anyway, until next time, keep enjoying collecting.